Hello you guys. So for today's speed art commentary discussion, I'm going to be talking about my YouTube journey. Now this journey was a long one. You're going to need a flow chart to keep up with what I'm going to tell you. So originally, I started YouTube in 2016 around the summer. And I had a channel called Aaliyah Halt. Now I'm not talking about the other channel that I left maybe last year, but a channel that I created back in 2013 when I first opened a Google account. It was gaming vlogs and tutorials. Now I made a lot of mistakes, like making the quality of the content terrible. For instance, when I made webcam videos, I would record in the dark. I admit it was hot, but what I should have done was got a lamp and put it by the laptop. Or since it was a laptop, I could have taken it outside when on nice days and did some recording. Then I can have the nice outside opening to make my videos better. And I made the mistake of sub for sub. Now y'all might be confused, but at the time I didn't know sub for sub was bad for your channel, because when you're a small YouTuber you want subscribers, but you don't quite understand it could be overlooked, the things need to get them. So once I heard that sub for sub was bad, I immediately stopped and I decided to start over, and I split into 3 channels, which is gaming, vlogs, and tutorials. So we'll call this trial 2. So there were still mistakes that I made on trial 2. For example, when I did vlogs, my phone, my old sucky phone, didn't have good audio. It had good picture quality, but it didn't have good audio, and you could barely hear me. And I didn't make any effort to extract the audio file, load it into Audacity, and boost the audio. Now I admit, when I first started YouTube, I started with nothing. I didn't even have those earphones that come with the mic, like when you get a new phone. I didn't have anything, but I had Audacity, a free software at my fingertips. And then people did point out that my vlogs are kind of long. I put literally no editing into my vlogs. Well, I wanted to try doing raw, uncut, but the viewer was unengaged by it. And then on my gaming channel, I struggled to grow. I was only doing gaming videos. I didn't have anything else different on the channel, like a review or Easter eggs or funny moments or funny losses, or heck, maybe even a tutorial, example, how to beat a boss. And I was wondering why I was having trouble growing. So then 3 channels started to burn me out. So I merged back into 1 channel, which was the second Aaliyah Halt channel. So that's going to be trial 3. Then I started it with gaming, vlogs, tutorials, learning from my mistakes, no sub for sub. And when I was gaming, vlogs, and tutorials, the channel was doing fairly well. I still had a lot to learn, and the old videos from that channel, I'm going to react to them. I'm going to do this for reflection purposes, just to show you, the viewer, that when I first started, I knew literally nothing about YouTube and editing. And then I had stopped the gaming videos because I was upset with how poorly they were doing. And I could have easily just did indie games, but the reason I stopped was because I thought maybe if I had a better PC, I would get more views. Meaning if I had a better computer to get the latest games. And I should have realized that I didn't necessarily have to do that. I could have just played indie games, because you don't need a strong computer for indie games, RPG games. And I did have this issue with people giving me shade for playing old games. And I didn't quite understand what was the big deal. Why do you care? It should be more about making the video interesting for the subscriber, more than how new the game is. The game could be new. It could have been put on the shelf 3 minutes ago, but if you are not presenting the game in a way that the viewer wants to watch it, then how new or old the game is, it does not matter. So I should have just ignored those, because I'm playing games that I would like to. I'd rather play a game that I want to, and it's 20 years old, and the viewer like my reactions or how I play the game or whatever, than to play a game that's new for views, and the viewer can tell I'm not interested and just want views, and they are put off. Personally, the viewer would be far put off if you're doing something you don't like just for views rather than doing something you want. Wait, the viewer will be put off if you're doing something you know you have no interest in just for the views and the likes, than doing something you like that might not be popular but you're passionate and the viewer likes how you present it. So I do recall a video that I posted on this channel called Why I Started Over, which was on Gaming with Jazz, which is this channel. And I said that a rebrand possibly hurt my channel. And now that I think about it, I don't think it was on the rebrand alone. I believe that more or less it was me not putting personality into my videos, not adding something different that makes me stick out from the rest. Because people are going to get bored with the content they produce. They're going to rebrand. They're going to make changes. That's just how it is. That is just how it is. What he does now. But he was a gaming channel. He got bored with gaming, or maybe didn't want to do it anymore, or just lost interest. I don't know. He does something else. That's just how it is. But I think not putting that personality into my videos may have caused the channel to tank a bit. And I also want to mention that throughout the trials, people did pick up on how hard it was for me to take feedback. Now I will talk about that later on in my blog posts and videos. Be on the lookout. But the one thing that I wanted to interject is that there is a big difference between giving someone actual helpful feedback on how they can improve versus outright slandering and trashing their content simply because you don't like it. Listen, we are not gonna like everything. YouTube is a global platform with billions of people watching. Do you really think that just because you don't like it, you're speaking for billions of people streaming on a global platform. You might not like it, but that doesn't mean someone else won't. Now, and people did point out, like, if you can't take criticism, you shouldn't be on YouTube. Well, there's a difference. Like, for example, I cannot read the text in your thumbnail. When you put the thumbnail on YouTube, the preview will look small and the viewer will not be able to read that. Add the so and so effect to bring the text out. Maybe change the color. You want to change the color according to the image in your thumbnail, etc., etc. Versus this content is boring. Who will want to watch this? This is bad. That's not criticism. What about the content is bad? And maybe it's not bad. You just don't like it. That's my opinion about the matter. Is you simply just don't enjoy that type of content. But that doesn't mean it's bad. Think about McDonald's. Do you like everything on their menu? So let's say you eat a Big Mac. Big Mac is the only thing you eat. So if that's the case, everything else on their menu is bad. Why would anybody want to eat it? That's not true. You might not like everything else on their menu, but somebody else might. The same could go for a TV network. You might like a few shows on the network, but that doesn't mean the shows you don't like are terrible and trash. But that's the impression that I have developed, that just because you don't like something, automatically right off the bat, it's terrible and it's bad. And I believe that that is not true. You know, that if you don't like it, you don't like it, that's okay. But what is out of bounds is just outright trashing it and just saying it's terrible. Alright, now, people can be mean, that is true, but just ignore them. If they can't be helpful and offer you actual genuine advice on how to improve, then go to someone else. Go to someone who will. I don't know. So, I am just gonna stick to being on one channel. Personally, having multiple channels is really draining and is just tough with promoting and being consistent. And when I have tried to separate channels before, I would end up getting burnt out and quitting that second channel. For instance, I do like making vlogs, but I'm not passionate enough to want to dedicate a whole channel to it. I just like vlogs enough just to post them every now and then, just so you could get a perspective of me, so you can see that I like other things besides sitting down playing games. That's all. And the same goes for speed art. So that's something to have so you guys can get a better perspective and to expand the channel a bit. You know, not dedicate enough to dedicate a whole channel to it. And plus, it's easier for me just to have one channel. I only have one channel to promote, one channel to post content for, and if I get lucky enough to be verified, one channel to verify, and then it'll be easier to keep up with one channel when it comes to monetization and stuff. But I don't really care about that. I just rather have other features like community tab. Just wanted to put that out there. So I hope you guys was able to keep up with all this, because I know you're gonna need a flowchart to keep up with the several times that I rebranded. But this is gonna be the final change. I'm not gonna switch channels, and if I rebrand, then I'm just gonna do a slight rebrand. I'm not gonna do a major rebrand like what happened during my second trial when I was on the second Aaliyah Hall account. So just kind of remember what I said about the feedback, is that there is a big difference between giving genuine advice to help the person do better and just outright saying it's bad just because it's something you don't enjoy. So that's what I want you guys to remember. So next time you want to shade someone because they can't take criticism, think maybe that person just doesn't like it and they just want to speak for their entire internet. Just remember, there are billions of people watching YouTube. And do you really think the opinion of one guy is going to change that? So if that one guy doesn't like it, but you're going to come in saying, hey, I like this. This is funny. This made me laugh. Then it's pretty clear that it is enjoyable, but just not to that one person. And that's okay, like I said. So I don't want this to be too long. So learn from my mistakes. Don't sub for sub. Don't take on more that you can handle. So if you can only handle being on one channel, just stay on that one channel. Do authentic growth, which is sharing your videos on social media and letting people subscribe if they like what you do. Stay away from sub for sub, and it violates YouTube's rules. So if YouTube finds out, they will suspend your channel. I mean, it might take you 5 years to get 1,000 subscribers, but when you rather take that 5 years than to take shortcuts, do sub for sub, and then you're like, oh, I don't feel like I deserve this because I cheated to get to where I am. Like I said in my video about sub for sub, cheaters never win and winners never cheat. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell so you know when I'm posting. And also, really quick, when I do my speed art, I'm just gonna come up with a topic and just title the video like I would normally do. Because in the past, when I was doing so-and-so speed art this, so-and-so speed art that, I was getting really bored with that titling. Because remember what I said, whenever I do a particular series, example my comedy series, I like to make my titles unique and change them up a bit, because if it bores me, then it will definitely bore the viewer. So I will see you guys in the next video.